What up, IDS Mob? I'm your coach, HarryWilmington, and today we're going to be talking about physical escalation, why it is that women will lose interest if you wait too long to escalate at the right times. And this is actually in response to a comment that somebody left on my video entitled, "She Felt No Chemistry, Should You Ask Her on a Second Date?" And this guy's going through a similar situation. He took a girl out 6 times, they were doing a lot of kissing, but then she started to feel less attraction, and then she eventually said they should be just friends, which I know this guy hated to hear. But I want to talk about what his physical escalation journey was, where it slipped up, and why it is that she ultimately lost attraction. Real quick, guys, on November 1st, I'll be opening up my Introvert Dating Success Membership Academy. This is gonna be like the Netflix of dating advice, where you'll be able to go there and click on a variety of videos, audios, and PDFs that will help you with different aspects of the dating game. You can learn more about that at the end of this video. So let's go ahead and get on to this guy's question now, okay? Because this is a situation that a lot of introverts go through, and I'll explain it in a bit. But he says, I met with a girl on 6 dates. At the end of the second date, we kissed, which, by the way, is great. I tell you guys, usually at the end of the first date or the second date, most women, if they're feeling a good rapport with you, they're usually ready to have you initiate kissing. So that he's right on time with that. But then he says, at the third date, we kissed at the beginning and at the end of the date. I should have kissed her more. Same thing at the fourth date. But at the end of the fourth date, we held hands and we kissed, and she held my face. At the fifth date, I felt something was off. We kissed again at the beginning and end of the date, but I felt the mood was bad. The same at the sixth date. I even told her that at the end of the sixth date, which, by the way, you really didn't have to do, but I'll get into that in a minute. He says, I told her that I felt that something was off and that I liked her. We'll get into that also. He says, the next morning, she said that she wanted to be just friends and that she didn't feel any chemistry. This guy did a lot wrong, but this is an example of why I put together my programs and sites like the upcoming Membership Academy, because there's just so many aspects of this particular situation that he doesn't get. There are various corners of this that he messed up on that resulted in her not feeling chemistry. So let's go through them bit by bit. So for starters, like I said, at the end of the second date, they kissed. Fantastic, perfect. So at the point where you've kissed a woman, unbeknownst to most men, at that point, a woman's already starting to think about what it would feel like to do more with you beyond that kiss. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that she's ready for that step, but it does mean A, that she's thinking about it, and honestly, B, most women are usually expecting the guy that they're with to try to do some extra stuff. Now, depending on the mood that she's in, depending on how much she trusts you, she may actually go along with it. And ultimately, most women want the physical aspect of the relationship to be the guy's fault. That's not to say that she wants to be forced upon, because she has to be an accepting and consenting partner to this physical escalation. But at the point where she's ready for that, she's still gonna be waiting for you to A, show that you're also ready, and B, to do things that will allow her to enter into a physical thing with you, okay? And it's a step that, unfortunately, a lot of nice guys and a lot of introverts really don't get, because especially for introverted men, we are very logical. And so we think, well, if a woman wants to go that step, then she'll just let us know. I don't want to step on her toes or make a move at the wrong, quote unquote, wrong time. So logically, if she wants it, she'll just let me know. And again, this is the part of the dating game that I think a lot of guys don't understand, is that women are still looking for you to lead various parts of these interactions, including when it's time to do physical stuff, because they've had the experience probably of being that woman that maybe came across as too needy or was being too forceful on a guy. And so they figure, well, okay, I want to do it, but I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. So most women will usually give passive hints or indicators that they want some physical stuff to happen in hopes that you'll know what it means, and then you'll take it to the next level. So for example, in this example, on date 4, they were kissing, and he said at the end of the 4th date, we held hands and we kissed, and she held my face. So think about what it takes for a woman to have to actually hold your face. She's mustering all the force she can and pulling this guy towards her as if to say, I really, really, really want you. This was probably at the point where she was ready for some physical escalation to happen. But did this guy know how to do that? Did he know what pathway to take her through to give her a plausible excuse for that to happen? For example, simple stuff. I start doing this on like date 1 or 2. I'll mention some cool stuff I have in my apartment. I paint a lot. If you guys, I'm in a hotel right now, but when you guys see most of my videos, there's usually like a painting that's hanging behind me that says, just breathe. Like I painted that. So I can say to women, oh, I have some really cool artwork at my house or my apartment that I painted and that I also drew. I say that on like date 1 or date 2. That way, if it starts getting to where she's feeling like there's a physical escalation that she wants to happen, I now have a perfect excuse for her to come to my house. She can say, hey, so I really love to come by your place and check out that artwork sometime. And I just know in my head, it's not about the artwork. She wants an excuse to come to my apartment, to come inside of it so that I could possibly come inside of her. So I let that happen. But I set that up, so I leave it so she's allowed to be able to say some passive stuff like, I want to see the artwork in your apartment, for me to then take the steps necessary to bring her to my apartment, okay? Simple things like when you're kissing, are you actually like you're kissing her, but are you trying to like kiss just her lips? Are you trying to maybe kiss her neck to see if she starts moaning a little bit? Are you trying to maybe like massage her shoulders or, grab onto her waist? Like, are you doing other touches outside of just kissing to see what her reaction is to that and then to escalate from there? If you're with her by herself, or let's say you get her to your apartment, are you doing things like, trying to reach for areas that maybe that they're a little bit more risque than you're expecting, because the hard thing for introverted guys in particular is thinking that they're not going to be punished for trying to do certain things, whether it's like trying to, reach on her and touch her chest or try to, indicate that you want to take off her bra. Like these are moves that are a little bit bolder, and they can be hard for guys because you're thinking, well, again, you don't want to get rejected and you don't want her to feel like you're just in it for the hookup, but she's a willing participant. If she didn't want stuff to happen, most women, whether they do it passively or aggressively, will let you know, hey, I'm not ready for that step. So for example, you're sitting on the couch with her, you're kissing her, she's really getting into it, and then you try to reach like the back of her shirt to try to take off her bra. If she doesn't want that to happen, she'll just kind of gently usually like move your hand away and put it back to where she wants it to be. Women do that all the time. They'll grab your hand and be like, oh no, put it back here on my hip, or put it back here on my chest or whatever, but I'm not ready for that step yet. And then you say, okay, fine. That's as far as she wants to go. But it's still important for you as the man in the situation to try these things, because you want to give all indicators that you ultimately want to do physical stuff with her. Because what you don't want is the opposite thing to happen, which I've heard happen, where women start thinking, he's not making any moves beyond just kissing. Does he really want me? Is he possibly into men? And I know it's an unfair thing that women are thinking, but you can't really control what they're thinking about you. All you can do is know that as the guy, you got to be willing to make these moves to be able to indicate that you do in fact find her physically attractive, to where you find her at a point where you actually want to get physical with her in a real way beyond just kissing. And so as you're giving those indicators, a woman that is highly interested in you, has established comfort, and is trusting of you will let you do those things and will open up those doors. But you can't be afraid of the potential rejection that'll happen. As a young guy, I thought the worst thing could be like, what if I'm kissing a woman and I try to lift up her shirt? Like, I'd be like, oh my gosh, if I do that, she's gonna know that I really want to get her. Oh my God. But I actually lost women by not doing that. There was one woman in particular in college where she was at my place, we were on the couch. I had tried to make out with her because I was really awkward and weird. So I think she wanted to at the time, but I was making it weird. And then at some point, she gave me that indicator that she would be willing to stay overnight, and I didn't even catch it at the time. It was like, oh no, it's no big deal. And she went home. And after that, I completely lost her attraction altogether. And I say that because that was a time in my life where I was really worried about, but what if I escalate and she doesn't like it? Fast forward to now, where it's like, if I've escalated and I'm trying to say, again, try to take off a bra, try to take off a shirt, and she backs down, you know what the worst thing that happens is we go back to just making out. Like, if I'm making out with a woman and I want to do more stuff and she kind of backs it down, we still go back to kissing. I still don't lose out. But what I found will happen is, let's say that time I try to, take her shirt off and nothing happens. Okay, fine. But now she knows that that's a possibility. So then the next time I see that person, now it's a very easy step to take her shirt off because I've already done that step. But the point is this, is that in the escalation journey, she's going to be looking to you to see how you're trying to do that and if you're trying to do that. And if you're a guy that is not trying to make steps beyond just kissing, then what can happen is she starts to think this guy and I don't really have that chemistry. Maybe the reason he's not making that move is because he doesn't feel like we have a connection, or we had a connection, but he seems to be making it really, really awkward, and he's stretching out the time that we should have been doing some physical stuff, and now the timing is starting to feel off. And I want to interrupt here and say this too. If you're a guy that is legitimately either trying to wait until you're married, or you're in a full-on relationship with the person to do physical stuff, then that's also completely fine. But that is something that you need to discuss with the woman so she knows what your game plan is. Because what you don't want is to have in your head, well, I'm gonna wait until we're in a relationship to hook up, but she doesn't know that, and then she's just thinking the whole time, either you don't really like her, you don't find her physically attractive, or maybe you're out there hooking up with other women and she's not been made aware of it yet. Either way, she's gonna create her own narrative. And I've talked about this before on the show about how women will oftentimes create a narrative out of actions that you're doing, even though you have no narrative. So you could just be like, I like kissing her and I'm waiting to see if she wants to hook up. And all she's thinking is, he's not making moves to hook up with me. Why is that? What's going on? What could that be about? Let me think of like 100 billion stories that go in my head that actually have nothing to do with what you're thinking, but they're gonna make one up. And so this is how a woman can start to lose attraction, is she's making up narratives in her head about what it means as to why you're not escalating, especially when she's in the world and seeing like all these other guys that are regularly hitting on her saying, oh, I want to take you to bed. Oh, I do all these dirty things to you, yada, yada, yada. And yet the guy that she's going out with isn't doing that. It's a complete mind teaser for them, okay? And so that's how you start to lose attraction over time, to where you get to the 6th date, and this is the other thing too. This is another example of like something that I'm going to definitely cover in my the Introvert Dating Success Membership Academy. I have a whole thing talking about why it is that you do not tell women that you like them when they're not there yet. So at the point where he said that he liked her and told her that he liked her, I knew he was dead in the water, because there's a way that you go about letting a woman know that you like her, and it is definitely not by verbalizing it to her before she's gotten there on her own accord, okay? So that's another way. That was really a big bomb that resulted in her saying, oh, let's just be friends. And most guys will find at the point where they tell the woman, hey, I really like you, I think the world of you, is usually around the same time that the woman comes back to them and says, oh, I think we should just be friends, oh, I'm not feeling it. And no guy has seemed to figure out that there's a correlation there between him saying I like you and her saying I don't want to be with you. So guys, if nothing else, you should learn to stop verbalizing that you like these women. Now, if you want to know how to better let her know that you like her, again, the Introvert Dating Success Membership Academy covers things like this and other ways to be able to indicate to women that you want to do certain steps or that you have a high interest without completely like doing it in a way that's going to make her lose interest, okay? So, to this guy, I'm pretty sure he didn't ask a question at the end specifically, but I'm pretty sure his question is like, you know, should I ask her out again, or how do I build it up again? And the reality is, at the point where women tell you directly, hey, I don't feel chemistry, there's really no point in you trying to continue on the journey of trying to convince that woman that you guys should be together. But the point is, use this as a lesson, okay? You went on 6 dates with a woman, and all you did this entire time was kiss her. After the first or second date where you kissed her, by that 3rd or 4th date, if you were a guy that was wanting to get physical with her, you should have started making moves that indicated to her that you were ready for that step, and then see where she is in the process of that, whether it's you're able to, you know, just kiss on her chest, or be able to put your hands in certain places, or to even be able to go all the way. But you not making any of those moves is ultimately what killed this thing, all right? So hopefully, guy, this helps you out. Now, for the rest of you guys, like I said, my program, Introvert Dating Success Membership Academy, is coming out on November 1st. You can go to the website now to join the waitlist, and when you do, you'll actually get a PDF. It's my girlfriend roadmap checklist, and it's a 10-step system that teaches you what you should be doing during those first 3 months in order to go from just dating a woman all the way to getting her to be the girlfriend, all right? It's a short little PDF, but it's one that's gonna help you set the foundation for when you join the Introvert Dating Success Academy and go through the lessons of like, okay, great. So you've gone on this journey. What parts of the journey should you be doing? How should you be doing it? And then once you actually get her as the girlfriend, what steps do you then take to make sure that she stays around? That's all going to be stuff that's covered in the Academy, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. So in the meantime, like I said, go to the website, join the waitlist, get the free PDF, and if nothing else, have a blueprint for yourself on how to be able to start effectively dating these women, okay? For more of these podcasts, go to introvertdatingsuccess.com/HarryWilmington. Subscribe to that channel today and like the video as well. And also, you can go to the website to sign up for one-on-one coaching with yours truly. And of course, if you want to show a monetary thank you, you can click on the tip jar tab there. You can click down one of the links below to do that as well, or you can leave a super chat thank you on here as well. Thanks for watching. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Introvert Dating Success Podcast. Visit us at introvertdatingsuccess.com for more great tips on attracting women using your natural introvert charm. Oh, yeah.